Yo, welcome back to Groove Selective. Today we're going to be looking at mastering and we're going to be using one plugin
I remain
only.
versatile.
The aim of Groove Selective is to teach you how to produce all types of dance music. However, if you would like to support me or you want to level up your production game, you can find all of my sample and serum 2-packs, VIP coaching, mixing and mastering services in the link below.
Jumping straight in, I have the Want You Pre-Master, a track that I released not too long ago. We're going to be taking a look at a couple of different plugins today. Now, just a disclaimer, I do believe that you should take your tracks to a mastering engineer if you're serious about your music. However, if you're getting your tracks demo ready, there's no harm in using some of these AI mastering tools. Now, the first plugin we're going to look at today is FasterMaster by David Guetta and Nicky Romero. And I'm going to play you the track without, and then we're going to analyze the track, and then we're going to apply the mastering chain. So we've got an idea of how that sounds. Now, I want to find the loudest part of my track. I already know where it is. It starts on the 17th bar here from this clip that I've taken. Now, I'm going to set up a loop. I'm going to turn FasterMaster on, and then we're going to just hit Analyze and hit play on the track and see what it does to the audio. Cool, so we're going to hit Let's Hear It, let's listen to it back, and let's analyze what it's done. Okay, so already to me, it sounds a little bit over compressed. Those lower mids are sticking out too much. It's got a little bit too much body in there. However, it hasn't done a terrible job. But looking at my multimeter, let's have a look at the RMS levels and what it's being pushed to. I feel like it's being pushed a lot. So we can already see instantly, if I make this bigger, we're currently looking at minus 6.1 dB RMS and minus 6.5 dB LUFS, and I only played it for a couple of seconds. Now, that is incredibly loud. Not that that is always a bad thing, but in this case, I don't feel like the track needs to be pushed to that extent. In fact, I think we're cooking the mix a little bit by doing that. So if we look at the EQ, we can see it's boosted some of that low end, and it's also boosted those upper mids. If we look at this transient page, and this is what I find quite interesting, and it could be kind of useful. You could just use a generic transient shaper for this. However, you can just increase the amount of punch or reduce it. So let's see how it sounds as I increase and decrease these. It's not bad. You can definitely hear how it gets a little bit more punchy. Now, if we look at this compression setting, it says it's on light currently. I think the mix is really being pushed by this limiter. So I'm going to bring this down. We're going to go to -9. And I'm assuming this aligns with our LUFS or RMS. And we're going to go back to our compression, play around with these compression settings and see how it sounds. So we can hear, as I go to tight, it really compresses the life out of the mix. Now, if I'm in dynamic mode, it sounds all right. I kind of like the light compression. It's almost like it's applying some glue compression with a slow attack and a fast release. Moving on to how it affects the stereo image. It's interesting to see how they've approached this. Now, for my mix, it's kept the low end at 0 decibels. My lows should already be in mono, or at least the sub. Now, my lower mid range has been turned down a bit, my high mid's been turned down a bit. However, the high end range has been pushed out to the sides quite a lot. Now, let's see what impact this actually has on the mix. So I'm going to hit bypass, we're going to hit play, and then we're going to do a little comparison. So as a result of pushing those frequencies around the stereo field, we can hear how it's actually taken out some of those lower mids, and then how the higher end is kind of sparkling a little bit more. Now, again, going back to the RMS levels and the LUFS, I just want to see if it's outputting what it says on the limiter. So let's hit play. Cool. So we set this to -9, and that's being reflected in our RMS level here, which is quite good, if I'm honest. We can also set the output ceiling, and I think that's quite valuable. I tend to always go for -0.2. And again, if we want to just whip out a quick master to send out for feedback as a demo, it's not a bad piece of software. Now we can look to compare this to the AI mastering tool in Logic. So when you load up this plugin, it has already applied the settings that it believes your master should sound like. So we're just going to turn it on, and we're going to hit play. So already the FasterMaster plugin blows this out of the water. Now, I can already see on the analyzer, we're hitting -13 dB RMS just out the boat. We can see that it's brought out a lot of the upper mids. It's reduced a lot of the low end. It has increased the stereo width. Now, I'm not sure if that's being applied to the entire track or whether it's being applied to specific frequency ranges. Again, it's not the worst tool in the world. However, I think you could do a much better job if you just used a linear EQ, a compressor with glue settings, and just a limiter. Keep it basic if you're sending those demos out. Or if you want to do it quickly, you could probably have a little play around with this FasterMaster plugin. They do have some other presets, which we're going to check out now. I'm interested in experimenting with them and seeing what they sound like. So let's have a little look through, and we're going to click on House. Let's see what they have here. So they have a bunch of different genres, and you can add your own reference tracks, which I think is really cool. Let's try the preset Modern and Punchy. I think that's the kind of vibe I'm going for with this track. It needs to be modern, it needs to be punchy, it needs to translate on all sound systems, and ultimately I want that kick and the plucky bass right in your face. So just going through the preset, we can already see what it's done to the low end. It's boosted the lows by 4 decibels. The mid-range has been cut out quite a lot, and the highs have also been cut. The transient shaper has stayed the same, compression, light, and we can see it's not done too much to the stereo image, and it set us up for streaming platforms at -9 dB RMS. I don't mind how that sounds at all. Now, you should always look to get your tracks professionally mastered by people who have been doing the trade for years and years. Because if your ears aren't trained and you can't acknowledge a lot of these differences, it's going to be really hard for you to push not only your music to your audience, but your music to the record labels or the people that you want to hear it, because they're expecting to hear a well-polished end product. Now, again, I don't think this plugin is necessarily bad. I think you can tweak it and get some great results out of it. So that wraps up today's video. I hope you found out something new. I'm giving a very honest review here of this plugin. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you do, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the link below to all my samples and presets. I'll see you next time.